No time
Gosh.
to wait.
No time to wait.
No
No
time to
time.
wait. We're live.
We're live. We're live and direct. So
We're
we are
live
back
and
again
direct.
in the hot seat, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for downloading
You get
another
that saying though.
episode.
You know that saying when someone says live and direct. How other live can you be? Undirect or
Once it's live, can you be indirect and live?
is it?
Can you be? No, I'm
Can you
asking.
be? Maybe you can, because I guess you can record live but not show it live.
Yes.
You can do a live recording and then play it later.
Hmm.
So yes, I think
I
maybe that's
always just
right.
remember on the radio, like whenever they would be like, I don't know, whenever you watch something on TV, they'd always say live and direct
Yeah. I think it
from
must mean
wherever
it's happening at this moment right now,
moment right
direct,
now.
rather than record it live earlier and then play it.
Exactly.
So
So,
I don't know.
so for you, listener who's downloaded it, it's not live and direct, but for everyone, people who are watching this live, for Deval Man, basically. So listen, look, Deval
Oh
Man,
man.
we are 30. What are we? 30
Three.
303.
303. It's just you and me. I've done it on before, haven't I? I've
we,
got to not repeat
we've done
these.
it hundreds of times, probably 303. So listen, folks, thanks for downloading this episode. Remember, you can get in touch with us. I want to do all this stuff
Yep.
beforehand. People are getting in touch with us on the YouTube channel, so dropping us messages, liking the videos. Remember, like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Helps with the algorithm. And actually, I want to shout someone else out. I didn't put it on there, but Jason,
Okay.
if you're listening to this episode, is he's the coach of my little one's football team.
Oh, okay.
And then he found out that obviously I'm into movies and everything, and he was like, "I come listen to the show." So, Jason, if you download this episode, big shout out to you.
Big shout out to Jason.
Exactly,
Coach
yeah,
Jason. Come
coach.
on. Come on, coach.
Come on, coach. So listen, folks, you've downloaded another great episode. We're going to be speaking about Speak No Evil, and we're going to be speaking about Rebel Ridge. So 2 new releases. And but before we do that, Deval, take it away.
Yeah, so some more shout outs to follow Coach Jason. This next shout out goes to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, who we see on the show all the time, actually. I haven't seen him on the show for a little while. He was actually going to be on today, but was unavailable. So
Slacker.
we'll get him on. Big slacker. But yeah, we'll get him on another time. And I'm going to be going away soon as well. Hopefully he can, fit in while I'm away for a couple of weeks in a few weeks' time. So yeah, but either way, big shout out to Emmanuel. He actually came to a live show hosted by our next shout out, the Industry T _. Go check them out.
How was it?
Really, really good event. So the event was hosted by the Industry T. Go check him out on Instagram with an actor called Phillips Nortey or Norte. Nortey, Phillips Norte, and he's been in a bunch of stuff, bunch of films, so many to mention. Been on Netflix stuff, cinema stuff, TV stuff. He's from the UK. He's been in stuff directed by Tim Burton and all kinds of really good projects. And he was just talking about his life, his motivations, where he started out, humble beginnings, how he took on any opportunity to get to where he is. He's not finished, but to get to where he is today, just saying how if you're really dedicated and really passionate, do whatever it takes. If you've got to be a runner on set, be that runner, because then you'll be exposed to the director, the first AD, this person, that person, and then through your connections, you can go up the ladder. So he was just saying how he really had to fight and struggle to climb the ladder. So yeah, really, really motivation. Really, really good motivation from Phillips Norte. Go check out his stuff on IMDb and his other projects as well. So yeah, big shout out to those two. And there we go. Yep.
There you go. Remember, folks, if you want to be a shout out on the show, get in touch with us, speak to us, chat to us, message us. Let us know what movies you're watching, what TV shows you're watching, and we'll speak about it on the show. And we would love to have you on the show, actually. Get in touch with us. All right, let's get into movie news. We've got a brief set of movie news, pieces of news over here.
Yep.
So Divaldo, now I know you've spoken about this a lot. We have the Star Wars movies, the episode 1 to 9 or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Then you have the TV shows, but then you have the animation.
Yeah.
You've mentioned this a lot over the last 6 years about the Clone Wars. and so when we had Star Wars Attack of the Clones, the movie, a lot of people were like, well, hang on, there's gaps in that whole
Yeah.
movie telling. And then I know you used to say, go back and watch the Clone Wars animation because it fills in a lot of those gaps. So tell us about this, man. Why is this on our news?
Yeah, and that's probably one of the best things on Disney Plus
Mm,
when it comes to Star Wars, the Clone Wars. It went from 2008 until 2020, I want to say.
it's long.
Or was it 2022? There was a big gap in between.
Yeah,
Talking about gaps, but there was a bit of a gap in between, and they sort of continued and ended the series. But
yeah.
yeah, the Clone Wars on the animation is really, really good.
Mm,
And there's talk of a live action version coming about.
mad.
So Ewan McGregor,
How would they do that?
well, they'll do it just like they've done all the other sort of live
Mm.
action stuff, and they're live action in everything, aren't they?
Yeah. So then you'd have to
Ahsoka,
get Anakin. What, he comes back, or what's his name again? Hayden Chris? Is it Hayden
yeah, Hayden
Christensen?
Christensen. He's already
Yeah.
spoken about the appetite to work again with Ewan McGregor. Ewan
Yeah.
McGregor is saying, yeah, there's so many good stories there that could be told. He said he wouldn't pass up the opportunity if it was right. So
Yeah.
if the lead people are saying, yeah, we could do it.
Mm.
Ahsoka, we've already seen her have a live action show,
Yep.
as well as seen her on Rebels and other stuff as well. So it's whether they've got, it's whether we, just because they
Can.
can doesn't mean they should.
Absolutely.
So perhaps doing the live action, it might not work like how the animation did. So me
Mm.
personally, the animation was so good. I think leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave
You know,
it be.
yeah, I've read like so many people saying the idea of these shows sound really great. The idea of
Mm,
the acolyte sounded great. Like, a new story in the in the Star Wars saga, but then when we actually see it live action, they don't always come to fruition or like what we
mm.
want. So yeah, man. So yeah, interesting point. So keep it locked with the Flixters. We'll bring you more news on that one. I want to mention this thing. So rumors have started to kind of come out more and more about Spider-Man Part 4. This is the Tom Holland and Zendaya kind of versions. So they're saying the rumor here is Destin Daniel Cretton, who was the director of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, it has been tapped to be the director of this Spider-Man 4, Devaldo. But not
Mm.
only that, the other rumor is that this movie is set to have Venom in it.
Yes, I'm hearing similar as well. I'm hearing
So,
because the new Venom trailer has got the what's his name? The Venom, the king of the symbiotes.
yeah, so he's I don't know what his whole thing is, but yeah, they find this Venom with Eddie Brock's Venom, and then they send
Cull.
yeah,
No, no,
and they
king of symbiotes.
send the whole army down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we could be seeing something, and that director is good at handling
Mm,
this sort of action, and I think this is going to be another multiversal story as well, possibly, or yeah, I guess it could be because they're taking one sort of IP and going to switching it to the other.
yeah,
But Null, King of Symbiotes, is a. I mean,
he's a
how
badass
can
man.
Spider-Man even handle something like that if that does happen?
Yeah,
But
yeah. And then what about the whole kind of? There is a bit of Venom in the MCU now, isn't there? Because remember
yeah, you're right.
at the end of that, there was one scene where Tom Hardy, a bit of his Venom symbiote
Yeah,
thing gets left behind.
yeah, exactly. So that yeah, you're right there. You're definitely right, and that bit is all it takes because we know how Venom likes to spread.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see. And Tom Holland, what do you reckon? Away from the Spider-Man stuff, the movies that he's been doing, he hasn't had maybe the commercial success that he wanted.
yeah,
Maybe.
you're right. You're right. Like not Tomb Raider. What was the other one? Drake's Uncharted.
Yes.
He was in that good one that was on Netflix with the sort of religious kind of one, the kind of horror one. What was it
Mm.
called again? I can't
Well,
remember
it
what it
was
was
set in
called.
the deep south.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that one was good. Then
Yeah.
you had the other one where he was a soldier. Cherry, was it Cherry or
Cherry.
something like
Yeah,
that?
I saw it. It didn't come
So
maybe
he's
land. Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
he's done a lot, but nothing like massive. I think Spider Man is real massive box office guarantee.
Mm.
But I just think Spider Man and Venom is a mismatch. Venom, from what we've seen so far, he's
Yeah.
way too powerful for Spider Man. That's what I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Bring in, man, someone else from the Rogues Gallery, man. Just like, but see, the thing is, they whet our appetite so much by
yeah,
having the
yeah,
three
yeah.
Spider-Men. It's like, I don't know, how are you gonna top that off, man?
Mm, I don't know. The Kingpin was always a good Spider-Man villain, but that's already been done. That's not really
Mm.
able to
And,
happen now.
and we're seeing Kingpin in Daredevil. Is he's going to be back again in Daredevil
Oh
alongside
yeah, that's
Punisher?
right. Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. We'll
So
see, man. I'm hoping they haven't run out of ideas for Spider-Man, and it's going to
yeah,
get
they
shit. I'm
can't,
hoping
man.
that's not going to happen.
I know, and they've got like a whole history of comic books,
Mm.
ideas that they can kind of pluck from that. So keep a lot with us, and we'll bring you more news on that one. Now let's speak about this one. Talking about another kind of reboot, the Goonies from 40 years ago. Now,
Mm.
if you're a person of a certain age, you'll remember back in the 80s. I think it was 1984. Maybe, yeah, 84, 85 or something, a kind of teen, Richard Donner, Steven Spielberg produced, about this group of kids. They go off on an adventure to find Wild Willie's treasure or something. And yeah, I think it was One-Eyed Willie or something.
That could you telling me a group of kids go out in caves and out in the woods or wherever it is to go look for wild willies? Could never happen now. That's safeguarding 101. Like
Exactly.
that is
It's
a
never
big
going to happen.
risk.
I know. So people like, future, like kind of big stars like Sean Astin, who turned up in Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
um,
Josh
Data,
Brolin.
Josh Brolin, like Marvel Universe, Thanos, etc. So go
Mm.
back if you haven't seen that. But yeah, man, I read about this. So they're talking about doing a reboot. So yeah, man. Like, I mean, yeah, Brolin. I reckon he'll be up. He'll be up for it. Sean Astin,
It's got
Corey
to be a case
Feldman.
of their kids. It can't be them running around, can it?
No,
Or how would it work? It's got to be their kids now, isn't it? Like a new generation, like a kind of a Stranger Things situation where
that's it.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It can't be. They can't be running around now, can they?
Yeah, I think unless they make it in such a way where it gives audiences like kind of like a bit of both. So one foot in
Yeah,
the past and one foot in the future, where the kids of the kids, go off on.
that's going to be like Ghostbusters again.
I know,
I'm
and
getting
Stranger
tired of this.
Things
Yeah, I'm getting tired of it, man. Because Ghostbusters, the most recent one, it had all the
was
old cast and then the kids, the new cast,
yeah.
and there were like 20 people in one frame, all going like
It's true, man. It's like, yeah, unless they do something really special with it. And this is one of those movies, Devaldo, where, like, it's so many people's favorite classic movie, like adventure story,
yeah.
kids movies, go on an adventure, and whatever. So we'll see what happens with that one. But yeah, rumors are coming out thick and fast for that one,
Mm,
and we'll see what happens. And listen, look, let's speak about this also, an icon from the 70s and 80s. James Earl Jones recently passed
mm,
away. So this was up on the news and came up on my news feed and everything. The voice of Darth Vader. I mean, you cannot get
mm,
more iconic. Not only that, The Lion King,
mm.
Mufasa, Coming to America, Conan the Barbarian. He was in that one as well.
Yeah, the long hair.
Uh, yeah, with the long hair.
Yeah,
But what a voice, man, Duvaldo. What a voice.
yeah. I know. You can't get more distinctive than that. You just can't. Right? You just can't. So his voice just will go on forever, and I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure. Yeah, I reckon like Darth Vader because he voiced Darth Vader
AI.
up until I was going to say it'll be AI, but he voiced Darth Vader up until recently,
Yeah.
like in Rogue One. I don't think he did the animation. I'm not sure. I've got to double check
Mm,
that. I've got to double check it. But
mm.
the Rise of Skywalker, he did that as well. But yeah, you're right. AI, I think they'll do it just like how they did it with Alien Romulus. They
Yep.
used AI to
To
do
see the robot thing, wasn't it?
the android. So I
Mm.
reckon, and that's where the SAGs or the SAGs the writers' strike and the
Yeah,
actors'
that's it.
strikes. They were talking about using their likeness again and again and again. So that conversation may come about now again. But yeah, yeah,
So I
big loss,
wonder,
big
yeah,
loss. James
huge
Earl
loss. And
Jones.
I
Yeah.
wonder, like, his estate, like, his family and everything. I reckon they'll be like, probably might be thinking, okay, I'm pretty sure that he still get like his estate will get paid every single time, they use, I don't know, when it's shown on
Mm,
TV or something, or I don't know,
yeah,
like how
yeah,
does the
maybe.
rights work with that sort of stuff?
Yeah, good question. Maybe there's something in the contract regarding that.
Mm.
Possibly. I would
Yeah,
hope so.
interesting. Yeah, well, rest in peace, James Earl Jones. All right,
Mm,
let's move on. Let's get on to new on streaming now. Deval, this has, so many people are speaking about this. I haven't even had a chance to look at it. This is Presumed Innocent on Apple TV. So I've heard some good things about it. So it's Jake Gyllenhaal. He
hmm.
plays. So he's accused of something, right?
He's accused of a murder. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, what do you make of this one then?
yeah. We watched it. We started it yesterday evening and finished it
Yeah.
this morning. Done
Okay.
8 episodes,
And
all
it's
done.
binge worthy.
Yeah, eight episodes,
Yeah.
45 minutes each. It's good. It's very good. Jake Gyllenhaal does what he does.
Yeah.
Ruth Negga does what she does as well. We saw her in
Mm,
Agents of Shield, and she was
yeah.
in Preacher, a
Preacher, she
TV
was.
show
She's
as
great in
well.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bill Camp is good in this. The whole cast. Peter Sarsgaard is good in this as
Yeah.
well. They're all good in this, and it is a good show. I'm not going to say what happens because it'll definitely spoil it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is on Apple TV, and I think I said to you a few weeks ago, I don't go on there enough, and I should.
It's true.
And yeah, when you watch this show, you can kind of feel the Apple TV look. Apple TV shows have got a kind of look to them,
Slick.
like they're filmed in like ProRes, whatever. For
Yeah. Then
like
it
there's
looks so
certain Apple
pristine.
settings or something. There's the soundtrack as well, but there's also everyone's got iPhones and Macs
Yeah, man. That's
in
it.
this. They've got iPhones and Macs, so product placement is there. But yeah,
Big time.
that aside, it's a very good show, and I recommend it.
Mm. Yeah, I
Mm,
want to watch it. It's on the watch list, that one.
mm,
All right, okay, let's get into trailers now. Listen, you're gonna love this one. If you love your horror movies, you're gonna love this. So Salem's Lot, man. This is like a classic Stephen King novel. They made like a Salem's Lot movie back in the 70s, I think it was. I
mm,
remember I watched that one. That one scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
mhm,
There's a scene in it which when I watched this trailer, Devaldo, I was like, oh, will they have that same scene, the one that they had in that original movie, which is about the when it knocks on the door, like let me in,
mm,
that thing, and
mm.
it's got it in there.
Okay.
I haven't read the book, but so many people say the book is just phenomenal. It's like
Mm,
really great, and that's the thing with Stephen King. So many of his works they've been turned into TV shows, movies,
mm.
whatever. Man, there's something about his work
Yeah.
that just lives
And
on.
you're right, and it's got that seal of approval. It's
Mm.
got that kind of also the cast. I mean, Bill Camp, who was just in Presumed Innocent, he's in this as well.
Okay.
But the cast of this, they're kind of the usual people that are in these kinds of
Mm.
films or shows.
Yeah.
You got people that was in The Mist. Like is that Spielberg? I don't know if it is Spielberg. So not Spielberg. Sorry, what's his
Stephen
name?
King.
Stephen King. Yeah, I think The Mist might be Stephen King. Unless I'm wrong, I
Mm.
could be wrong. But those kinds of mysterious, kind of horror-ish kind of films, this kind of
Mm.
cast, when you see who's in it, you're like, oh yeah, these people are always in this.
These are these types of people. Yeah,
But yeah, it
exactly.
looks all right. I mean, this is coming out October,
Yeah.
Halloween month. So this looks
Halloween.
good. This is going to be an IMAX, not IMAX. This is going to be on Max,
Yeah.
a Max original. So yeah,
So
streaming.
exactly. Yeah. So they that's an original kind of one over there, right? So yeah, it looks
Mm.
interesting, man. I'll definitely would like to watch this one when it
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
This next one, again, this is kind of creepy. One of these things where you don't know what's going on and like some sort of kind of scary evil figure in the background. This is called Hold Your Breath. Sarah Paulson,
Mm,
she's been in a lot of stuff, man. We've spoken about her on the show as well, like in stuff. I know she was in Glass.
mm.
She's been in she's flipping. We've seen her
She's been in lots of stuff. Yeah, because
lots.
she likes to do that kind of, I don't know, stylish kind of horror stuff. I don't
Mm,
know why I'm moving my shoulders
American
to that,
Horror
but
Story.
yeah, kind of American Horror Story kind of stuff. She was
Mm,
in Run, uh,
yes, Run. Yeah, I remember that.
which was really good actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's good at she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's
Yeah,
doing.
and it's set kind of like it's a period piece, isn't it? Where because
Yeah.
when you watch the trailer, you notice about the costumes that they're all wearing and everything, and
Mm,
something about holding your breath and about the if you let it into your air or if you breathe it in,
mm,
then terrible things happen. They keep repeating this thing,
yeah,
about terrible things will happen. So yeah, man, it looks
yeah.
interesting,
And I got
crazy,
a
man.
funny feeling because this is 1930s Oklahoma, and in
Oh,
Oklahoma, like indigenous kind of
Yes.
area, or to,
Yeah.
like, so I've got a funny feeling
Land.
because they say that the dust storms have some sort of presence, and I reckon,
Yes.
I'm just guessing, they might link it back to when sort of the Europeans came to America, and
Yeah.
you know what they did to the natives, if you want to call it that
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
and the sort of repercussions from that.
Man,
So I reckon that this might have something like that as a bit
imagine
of a
that. Like you get
story.
a curse, like, you kind of
Mm,
one of
mm.
those things come after you,
Yep,
man. Holy
yep,
shit.
yep,
So
yep.
hold your breath. That's going to be coming out pretty soon. I think it's
Yeah, on
October
Hulu,
on
October the
Hulu.
3rd on Hulu, same day as Salem's Lot, I think. Yeah.
And good thing about Hulu is Disney.
Yep, that's it.
So the Hulu stuff usually comes out on
Mm,
Disney. So we'll
Disney
be seeing
Plus.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so go check that one out. And this one,
Mm.
if you're looking for kind of like a time travel, mind bending, alternate universe type of a film, check this one out. Now, this is called Things Will Be Different.
Mm.
And the people behind this, Deval, we've mentioned the guys behind this. So it's Aaron Ash, no, sorry, Aaron, not Aaron Ashmore. Um, things will, hang on, fill in the gaps for me, Deval. Things will be different. Sorry.
This, this is yeah. So I'll read the synopsis. In order to
Yeah.
escape police after a robbery, two estranged siblings lay
Mm.
low in a farmhouse that hides them away from a different time. So this
Yes.
farmhouse, I think, somehow seems to be time displaced
Yeah.
somehow. And then they sort of start to see some things that are weird,
Mm.
and they reckon that a mysterious force is basically doing this.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird scenario.
It's a time, yeah, exactly. And the people behind it is Justin Benson and Aaron
Mm,
Moorhead. Now, these
yes.
guys just very recently were behind Loki, and there was a lot of kind of
Yep.
time, obviously time variance authority, so to do with time. But Deval and I, we kind of reviewed a film years ago, which still gets spoken about to this day. People
Mm.
watch that YouTube video of ours, Synchronicity, and
Hmm.
um no, what's the other one? They were behind the other one as well, wasn't it?
I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me, but they've been behind some
It's like
real,
time travel.
yeah, time travel dimension type bending films, and their films are not straightforward. Like
No,
you cannot be on your phone. You got to pay attention, because even when you pay attention, you
yeah,
might even have to rewatch the film.
yeah.
So it is very, very, yeah, it's very important that these types of films just are weird in a way.
The
Just,
endless.
yeah, the endless. That's the one. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just very weird films in a good way. Weird in a good
yeah,
way.
yeah, exactly. So if you love like your time travel, which we do, this is going to be right up your alley. So go check that
Mm,
one out.
mm.
I can't remember when the actual release date is for that one, Deval.
Oh, this one's, yeah, I can see it. This one's coming out. Oh, then this one, I think this one's actually not out in a cinema. Yeah, this
Mm,
one's out on I think streaming of some sort.
okay.
But this is on the 4th of October. These are all coming out soon.
It's
Like
coming out
October's
soon.
looking like a good month, you know.
Yeah, 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 100%. Your
Mm,
horrors, your kind of, off genre type of movies. But
mm,
October obviously will be, we'll let set that stage for horror and everything. But this is
mm.
nice to throw in a bit of time travel,
Yeah.
thriller, drama as well. All right, okay, let's do anniversary corner. So let's go back 30 years, and so this is from 1994. This is Leon, the Professional, and yeah, man, this is a great movie. Luc
Oh,
Besson, what a, you
oh,
know what,
come on,
and
man.
Natalie Portman. Hang
Mm.
on, Deval. Now, was this her debut? I
I,
want to.
th- I want to say so, but you just never.
You
People
just
like that. I mean, she might have done something when she was 12 years old. She had to be accompanied by her dad or her parents when she
yeah,
was doing
Matilda.
this. Yeah, Matilda, and she liked milk. She always wanted milk. Remember?
Mm.
Can I have some milk?
Oh my
Or
gosh,
was it
yeah.
him that liked milk? One of
I
them
can't.
liked milk,
One of
didn't
them
they?
like milk, or wasn't it Gary Oldman? Did he like milk? I can't remember. Yeah, I know what you mean, but it was one of them. Was yeah, but I remember when this came out, and there was a whole kind of uh, obviously great movie, great story, great acting and everything, but there was also controversy around it as well. The fact that, Natalie Portman was kind of this young
Mm.
child, and then it, in certain places, people took it to be kind of like almost like
A
sexualized as well.
relationship. Yeah, I know what
The
you mean. Yeah,
relationship,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
it was the age that I watched it. I
Mm,
never saw it. If I watch it now, if I go
mm.
back and look, it might come across differently. But back then, I had a vivid memory of just this guy just protecting this young girl. Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
a professional killer. He was just
yeah.
protecting her,
She
and
was
like,
12 years old, and
yeah,
she was 11 when she was cast. She was it's her first. It was her first motion picture debut. Yeah, you're
okay,
right.
right.
Yeah, she beat 20, 2,000 other actresses to get the role.
Wow.
Mm.
Jeez.
So yeah,
But yeah, man, good. If you haven't seen it, seriously, go check it out. It is a classic. And Luc Besson, he's kind of stuck to that genre, isn't he? Kind of like the
Luc
action spy
Besson,
thriller,
The Fifth Element,
Fifth Element.
is Anna Luc Besson as well.
It is.
That's it's a much better version of what what like a what's a hit woman called again? What do you call a hit woman?
Femme
Assassin or
Fatale,
something. Yeah, femme
assassin. Yeah,
fatale, assassin.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's just I think Luc Besson's twist
Nikita.
on
Remember he did Nikita
La
as well.
Femme Nikita,
Nikita.
La
Yeah,
Femme, La
yeah, man.
Femme Nikita.
Do it,
Oh
mate.
mate, honestly. But yeah, so in this, Leon was he a hitman?
Yeah, he was a hitman.
He was a
So
hitman,
he's
isn't it?
yeah, he and then she witnesses a murder or her parents die or something, and then he kind of takes her under the wing. So sorry,
Mm,
she witnesses Gary Oldman killing someone,
mm.
and then that's how he kind of she goes to him for protection and
Yeah, yeah,
whatnot,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah. This is worth a watch. If you ain't seen
hundred
Leon,
percent.
this is worth a watch. This is a good film. 30 years. Hold on. Is it 30 years? Yeah, 30 years old. And it is well worth it. Well worth it. Gary Oldman, gangster in this as well.
Wicked.
Wicked
Yeah,
film.
great
Watch it.
actors. Good,
Mm,
really, really good.
hmm
So go check that out. And yeah, let's move on to film review. So let's speak about this. We've actually been sitting on this one for about a couple of weeks because this movie came out maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, whatever. This is Rebel Ridge. This is on Netflix. Now, a lot of people have kind of been speaking about this, and we saw the trailer and we thought, you know what, let's give this movie a go. Because
mm,
when we saw the trailer, I remember we were like, this is kind of like a Reacher-esque kind of, Tom Clancy, kind of, the Marine that goes off and, he has to kind of,
mm,
you know, um, some small town in America. They're
mm.
kind of busting his balls, and he then unleashes kind of like hell on them. So it's so funny because it was one of the movies from Netflix that I was really, really looking forward to. So, and the movie came on, and you know what, Devout, it was totally not what I was expecting. I honestly thought this was going to be kind of your typical like Reacher movie.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Same.
Like
It
honestly, there
wasn't.
was, and then it goes off into different directions, and I thought this is really interesting what they've done. And the main guy, Aaron, his name is Aaron Stone Pierre.
Mm,
Devout, this guy's going to be a future star.
yeah, yeah. People are saying that he should be Spawn.
Oh man, I mean, I can
People are
see it.
saying he should be Spawn. Yeah, they're saying that he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's been in something called Genius, Foe. I think Foe's an Amazon Plus, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Brother, he was in old M Night Shyamalan,
Right.
Underground
Okay.
Railroad, a mini series. He was in Krypton. I remember seeing him in Krypton.
No, I never
He's
saw
been in
that.
a bunch of stuff, but yeah, he's UK. I think he might be a London lad. I
Yeah, he's
think
from Brixton.
from Brixton, South London, not too far from not Lewisham. What's the other place where Rio
Uh,
Ferdinand's from? And John Boyega
oh,
from South London as well,
South
basically.
London. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
yeah, they make some good actors from there. But
Oh
yeah, I think
man. And
what?
like, and I'm just going to say again, another perfect example of Brits doing brilliant like accents.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What
Very.
is it, man? Like, they just have the knack of.
Mm.
If you saw him, I
No, it's
bet
because
you,
we watch
man.
a lot of American shows. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
true.
America makes the most shows and the most films
Mm.
and stuff. So if we're watching it all, there's a better chance we're going to be able to absorb it. I think that's what it comes down to as well.
Yeah. And it's directed by this guy called Jeremy Saulnier. We've spoken about him
Mm,
before. We've kind of like, Green Room, Hold the
mm, mm,
Dark, which
mm,
was this kind of another Netflix movie that he made, which I reviewed on the show like a while ago. So kind of
mm,
really interesting directing. And so it's about this guy. He plays Terry Richmond. He's a former Marine, and he's on it. The movie starts off where he's riding the bike, and
mm,
he's got to get somewhere. And if he doesn't get to where he needs to get to, his cousin's gonna miss his bail, and it's gonna lead to kind of like all sorts of other problems. But because he's in some small hick town in the middle of nowhere in America, he's a black guy.
mm,
The police stop him, ramrod him off the road, check his backpack, and he's got all this cash. And then that's when the kind of the story unfolds. And one thing leads to another. His money gets taken. It leads us down to this rabbit hole of a kind of conspiracy within the town. We've got what they call a sheriff or whatever they called, played by Don
mm,
Johnson. He's kind of like, a bit of a hard ass and everything. And, and it just opens up into this whole kind of story with these different characters, and I was just like really surprised about the whole thing. And Deval, with these movies, sometimes this can happen. You have this setup, you have this marine type of a figure who's going to goes
mm.
in, starts cracking skulls, and then they just shoot the shit up, and then it ends with a kind of a final. The final third is like he goes in kind of like Rambo style, starts
Mm.
taking people out, and it
And
wasn't
people
like
actually
that,
have
was it?
compared it. People have compared it to Rambo First Blood, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, they've compared it
yeah,
to that because it's like someone who's military trained going into a
mm.
town of like bad cops or sheriffs or sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, man. And like, yeah. So it was kind of yeah, and I see the comparisons because when you look
Mm,
at Rambo, the First Blood, the first
mm,
movie, he's a Marine. He's come
yeah.
back from Vietnam and he's
Hmm.
just minding his own business, and he gets stopped by the police, and they're like, "What you doing in our town? Get
Hmm.
out of our town."
Hmm.
And it's the similar kind of a setup over here. But this guy, I mean, he's got skills as well.
Mad skills. I mean, first of all, you look at this guy and he's like 6 foot. Like he looks like a Chris Hemsworth kind of build,
Yes. Yeah,
height, build. So from the get go, he just looks like the sort of person you don't want to mess with.
I know.
But he doesn't outwardly portray that. It's just the look of it.
Yeah,
But he's the sort of person, if you mess with him, then it's a big mistake on your side
I
because
know.
he will mess with you back. Touch him, he'll touch you back, but his
Yeah.
touch will keep you touched. Do you know what I mean? One of them ones.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely, man.
I think he,
So,
he goes in there with good intentions. He's trying to pay his brother's bond. His
mm,
brother's gotten in trouble. That it seems like he's in trouble, but it's not as bad as the way it seems. But it seems like the town are shady in how they process people that have been
yeah,
arrested because the town was bankrupt, and the way they process people is to their advantage that they hold them at a certain amount of time and they do
mm,
things to make the money flow. And they anytime they can uh, they take people's money. When I say
yeah,
take, they do it in a legal sense. I can't remember what the word is. They
yeah. They
uh,
confiscate the money,
confiscate. Yeah, they confiscate
and
their money.
then under the pretense that it's kind of like illegal, and then
Yeah,
the sheriff and the department, they basically kind of siphon it off and use it
yeah,
for whatever.
yeah, exactly. And to try and get that money back, you can go through court. It can take you a year, and you can probably spend as much money trying to get the money back than the money that they've taken. Sometimes people just
Mm,
don't bother. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a shady, very, very, very shady town, and they've tried to do that same thing they've been doing for years with everyone
Mm,
else on the wrong person, and
yeah.
that's why the film happens.
Yeah, exactly. And there's kind of
Mm,
there's action in it, but it's kind of action in a real in my head anyway. When I was watching it, I thought it's kind of like intelligent action. Like, so
mhm,
if this guy is a kind of like a trained Marine, and he trains the Marines, and
mm,
he looks at a situation in so many different ways. Like he uses this
yeah,
acronym called PACE, and it stands for
mm,
kind of like certain things. And like, oh, he's looking at what this person's doing, and he kind of inviting you in and assessing the situation. I thought all that stuff was like really, really interesting. Interestingly, Devaldo, have you noticed, or maybe we're going to see this even more now? we have a female lead and a male
Mm,
lead,
mm.
and normally
They
back in the
usually get
80s
jiggy in it.
they
Yeah,
would usually get jiggy with it,
yeah,
and in
yeah,
this movie they've done away with it, and they
yeah.
did that with Twisters as well.
Yep, they do it with. I think they're trying to be. They're trying not to give you what you expect too much, because I think people are kind of sick of that, and that takes
Yeah,
away. Like it makes the lady fail the Bechdel test. You know, the
yeah.
Bechdel test, where any woman in a film, uh, her motivation is always a man.
Mm.
And in this one, her motivation's her son, or was it her daughter,
Exactly,
her
her kid,
child,
or
basically.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so her motivation isn't to get with this guy romantically. They
No,
need each other to get to their goal. And it's like in life, you don't always have to, bed someone of the opposite sex just because you're working with them. And I think they do that quite well in this film.
yeah,
Who knows if they actually fancied each other? Let's say it was someone else and they fancied each
yeah,
other, it might have happened, and so be it. But it's refreshing to see that they don't need to do that for the film to be good. So that
yeah.
was good.
And I reckon a lot of people, if they did have kind of like a sex scene in there or
Mm,
whatever, I reckon a lot of people would have been like, "Oh, they've just thrown that in there just to satisfy
mm,
some kind of
mm.
demographic, like
Yeah,
whatever and everything."
and we
So,
mentioned John Boyega. You know that because John
hmm.
Boyega actually got the role for this film.
Oh,
And he left the project midway through filming in 2021. So somewhere on some cutting room floor, there's
there's a
John Boyega
version.
doing what he's doing, and then he left it in 2021. I'm not sure why.
Damn.
And then they actually got Mr. Pierre
Yeah,
to do it. So yeah, and I think it's worked in his favor. And it's funny, they're both from South London, isn't it?
that's mad.
So Pierre's from Brixton, and
Yeah. I wonder
John
if he put
Boyega's
in a.
from
Do
South
you reckon
London
John
too.
Boyega like put in a shout and said, "Hey, look, I'm pulling out, but I know someone else," or
I don't know. I mean, I wonder why he pulled out. If he's already started filming, why did he
oh.
pull out? I'm not sure what happened. You know?
There's that thing where they say creative differences, like
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, interesting. It'll be
Mm,
really, maybe we get to hear about more of it, as time goes on. We'll maybe get to hear
mm,
more about
yeah.
that. But no, I thought it was decent, Devout. I thought it was kind of, you know, um, if you're looking like for a movie like kind of Chris Hemsworth
Mm,
Extraction, so they kind of they sit in the same genre, kind of this action drama, but I
mm,
think Extraction is more on the other side, where you have like those full on action sequences, edge of your seat kind of
yeah.
stuff. This one plays it a bit cooler, plays it a bit more intelligent, plays it a bit more dramatic, where you might not have the kind of the bombastic kind of massive kind of fight scenes, but it's got
Mm.
enough in there to keep you occupied, man. I thought it was okay.
And I think it was definitely, and many
Yeah.
people have said that this is probably going to launch his career to,
Yeah.
go on to like other sort of things. I reckon we'll probably see him pop up in Marvel or some sort of DC projects with his
Yeah.
stature. I mean, he's already been in DC, a TV show, but maybe a sort of smaller level. But I can definitely
Mm.
see him being in something on a big scale because he's got the stature to fill that screen. That 16 by 9 frame, he can
Oh man,
definitely feel that. They might have
this
to
is mad.
even
I
widen
wonder
the
what
lens to
his.
get his biceps in.
I wonder what his. Let's have a look. His IMDb upcoming. Oh, he's going to be in Mufasa: The Lion King.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
plays Mufasa.
Peckham, that's where it is. Peckham, that's where John Boyega's from,
Peckham.
isn't it?
Okay.
Peckham. Yeah, he plays Mufasa. Yeah, in the line. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Upholstergeist is something else that he's in.
What?
But
Oh my.
Upholstergeist,
What's
whatever
that?
that is.
Upholster is like in your chairs, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Upholster,
know.
guys.
Yeah, and there's a picture of like a chair on this.
No,
So
you're
yeah,
joking. You're
yeah.
joking,
No,
yeah.
honestly,
Oh
honestly, man,
my
it's on his
gosh, I was
IMDb.
joking. And this.
It's something's going on, man. But yeah, man. So look, this guy is gonna do. I reckon this guy's gonna do big, man. He's gonna get picked up.
Oh.
Lion King is a Disney movie. And I think he's got that presence, right? When he's on screen, where you're watching him to see what he's doing. So
Mm,
yeah, it's all good.
yeah.
Um, so it's definitely a thumbs up from me on that one.
Definitely
Go
thumbs
check it
up.
out.
Get it on
Netflix.
Netflix. Ain't got to leave the house. Watch that. It's 2 hours, just over 2 hours, and you
Yeah,
get everything. You get everything in it. So yeah.
exactly. All right, and this one, let's mention this one. Let's speak about this one, Devaldo. So this is a new film, Speak
Mm,
No Evil. Now, this is interesting because this is a remake of a Danish movie that I saw a while ago, and now this kind of Hollywood version's come out, or in the English language version. And Deval went out and watched this one, so I'm gonna let you obviously take over here, Deval, and then we can I'll add in my bits based on the Danish
Mm.
version. So yeah, go on, and you've seen the Danish version as well.
I saw the American version, and then the next day I watched the Danish version.
Okay,
But I'll
all
talk
right,
about
go
the
for it.
American version. So
Yeah,
this stars James McAvoy, Mackenzie Davis, Scoot McNairy,
mm,
and it also stars a really good actress in Aisling Franciosi,
yeah,
who we've seen in Game of Thrones. She had a small part in Game of Thrones. We saw her in The Nightingale, really good film.
yep.
Really good film from
Australian.
2018, Australian. Yeah, she's in that Black Narcissus, good TV show. The
Yep,
Large Voyage of Demeter. She's in that as well. She's really
yep,
good. So yeah, but yeah, this is a twisted film. So it
mm,
basically is a star. It's basically couples on holiday. So there's basically these two families on holiday, I should say. So two
mm,
families on holiday. It starts off with I'll say Scoot and Mackenzie. They're the sort of other parents. They've got a child, young daughter. They're on holiday in Italy, and you've got James McAvoy and Aisling Francrosi. They've got a son in Italy as well, and they sort of bump into each other in Italy. And James McAvoy is very charismatic, very kind of confident and stuff like that. And Scoot, on the other hand, he's quite timid, not
yep,
really sure of himself, a bit not confident. uh, and his wife again, she's not she's they kind of mirror each other, but she's a bit frustrated. I think they're both a bit frustrated with life,
yeah,
and they don't know what it is, but they're trying to get on with things. So that's the characters of them. And then Aisling Francrosi, she's again just a bit confident, not as loud as James McAvoy, but she's cool, whatever.
mm,
So they get to know each other on holiday. James McAvoy invites them to come back to the UK. Hold on, where they're from? Yeah, they're all from the UK. Uh, but James McAvoy lives in the
yeah,
countryside on a farm or whatever.
yeah,
So Scoot and Mackenzie, they live in London, fast-paced life. They go to the farm now to visit them. They first are reluctant, but they still go. And then once they get there, they're having fun, whatever. They're having dinner. And one of the first things that happens is James McAvoy offers uh, Mackenzie Davis some duck, knowing that she's vegetarian.
vegetarian.
And
Yeah,
Mackenzie Davis, again, wanting to be polite, kind of eats the duck.
mm,
And Scoot, her husband, looks at her like to say, "What are you doing?" But she
mm,
takes a few chews, and when no one's looking, she takes it out of her mouth,
yeah,
or to be polite. And it's all about this. This film's about people that are confident and
yeah,
out there, and I guess people that are general in society, especially in the UK, polite.
yeah,
Don't want to
mm,
upset the. You don't want to stir things, upset the boat.
mm,
You want to be polite at your own cost sometimes as well.
absolutely.
So bit by bit, they're doing things, having activities, but then you realise that James McAvoy and Aisling Francrosi, there's something not right. And then the other parents, they start to realise this and think that certain things they're doing just doesn't add up. Like it's just a bit weird. Sometimes
Mm,
James McAvoy would freak out. There's a couple of scenes, one scene in particular you've seen in the trailer where the
mm,
two kids are dancing and then their boy can't get the steps right and he
mm,
freaks out
yeah,
at the little boy and tells him, dance, dance, get it right. And they're uncomfortable with it, but they're not,
mm.
they don't say
But
enough to
they don't
stop it.
exactly. They don't
Not
say
enough.
anything.
Yeah, not enough. Yeah. So there's that happens, and then yeah, there's just little things that happen that make them feel really uncomfortable. But
Yeah,
it builds bit by bit, and even their son, they say he's got a speech impediment or some sort
mm,
of issue. He was born with a small tongue, so he can't speak.
yeah,
And really, there's a scene where the boy goes like this. He goes to say that they cut my tongue off, and he says that to the little girl, but the little girl, she's got issues as well.
yeah.
She carries this little doll around with her because she's got some sort of, I don't know, some sort of issue. She can't go anywhere without the doll.
Oh
Anything
gosh.
anything she says to her parents, they kind of don't take it too serious, and
Mm,
don't know what she's talking about. Um, it's just mad. Yeah. So there's all these things that happen. It's and remember they're at they're at these people's house in the farm. They've got
Mm,
no way to sort of they're in isolation. They can leave, but they're being too
mm,
polite.
yeah,
There's one scene that happens that gets them to actually want to leave at night. Now, uh, they well, yeah, at night they are all sleeping, and the daughter, I think she can't sleep. She's
mm,
making a little noise. She can't sleep,
yeah,
but she eventually goes quiet, and then the mum, uh, Mackenzie Davis, who wakes up, checks on her daughter. She's not in bed with the
yeah,
little boy. She's not in bed, and she's looking around, and she goes to James McAvoy and Aisling Francosi's bedroom and sees her daughter in bed
daughter,
with them,
yeah,
and she's like, "What the?" She's quiet, but she's like, "What's going on?" So she gets her
mm,
daughter, picks her up, takes her daughter to the bedroom, and says to her husband, "We need to leave now." So
yeah.
then they silently pack and leave. They pack and leave. While they're driving down the road, they realize the little daughter hasn't got a teddy bear.
I know.
And
Oh,
then they're like,
Deval.
and then the
Oh
dad's like,
gosh.
we'll get you another one. She's like, no, no, I can't. She starts scratching her arms because she's got a condition where
Yeah,
she needs a
yeah,
teddy bear. She's like, no, I need it, I need it. So they turn around, they go back. By the time they get back now, James McAvoy's awake.
yeah.
And he's like, you're just going to leave. You were just going to leave in the middle of the night and not say goodbye. Like, it's a bit awkward,
Big
tense.
time.
And that's where they
Big
have
time.
their first moment of, okay, we don't like you guys. You guys are awkward, whatever, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the wife, uh, Aisling Francosi, says, "Oh, the reason why I took your daughter is because we used to have a daughter and she passed
Mm,
away of cot death. She was 18 months old." And then they're like, "Oh my gosh."
yeah.
Then they feel sorry for her. Then
And
they
then
now could convince them to stay. So
yeah,
they stay, and then things happen again, bit by
again.
bit. But they're more
Oh,
smart with it now. They're more smart, and they don't, they hide things well. But the little boy now starts to show them things. Ooh, he shows the daughter some evidence that you need to
it's
leave. And
irrefutable.
then when
Yeah,
they see that evidence, then they're like, we need to leave. And then bit by
yeah.
bit, the film kicks in. So in the last half an hour, I would
Then
say shit hits the fan. Up
yeah,
to an hour and a half is quite, but the last half an hour, the film kicks into overdrive and it's like they're trying to escape and it gets
I
serious.
know, man. You know,
It gets serious. But I'm not going to spoil what
absolutely.
happens.
But you know, man, I mean, the setup on that one, and you know, I remember it's brought back all the memories that I had of watching the Danish movie,
Yeah.
right? And it was so frustrating because on one hand, you're like, why don't you just get out? Why don't you just leave? Forget
Mm,
the flipping doll.
hmm
Like,
hmm It happens in
just
that. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
just go,
Yeah.
buy your kid another like, doll or whatever. There were so many times when I watched that movie and I was like, oh my gosh. But
Mm,
you're so right about people being polite and not saying stuff.
mm,
And how much I'm talking about real life now,
mm.
how many things do we just kind of like let slide?
Too much.
And we just
Yeah.
kind of turn a blind
Mm,
eye to
yeah.
stuff and like,
Yeah.
so
It's
one thing that we got to say though, Deval, is
mm,
it's a psychological horror. It's not kind of like a,
bloody,
ghostly,
whatever. Yeah. No, no.
like
It's
whatever.
psychological.
This is a
It's shit
different
that can
type of
happen, which
terror.
is probably
Yeah.
worse. Is this? Yeah. But this, so the original one was made in 2022, only 2 years ago, which rarely
Yeah,
happens. That is so soon. James McAvoy did not watch the original
he
until after
didn't.
he had filmed all his scenes and it
Wow.
was a wrap. And then he watched the original because he didn't want it to taint his
To
acting.
influence him, yeah.
He was like, oh my gosh, the original is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen them back to back now. And I will
Yeah.
say that American version, it ends in the American way. It
Well,
concludes in the American way. You haven't seen it, have you?
no, I haven't seen it, no.
It, it, it's,
So
it,
what? So they changed the ending
and
then?
yes, the ending's different. That's the only thing. Apart from that, it's
Yeah.
almost not frame for frame, but it's pretty much 85, 90% the same
Right,
until
gotcha.
the last half hour.
Yeah.
Even
Oh
at the start
shit.
where he's at the pool,
Yeah.
the guy comes and, oh, can I borrow your sun lounger?
Yeah.
It starts the
That's
same
exactly the
way.
same.
They're at
Yeah.
dinner. There's a
They're
Swedish guy who's
laughing.
really awkward, talking about recipes and whatever. Same thing. Same things happen
Mm,
until the last half hour. And the last half hour of the Danish version, oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh my gosh. The way that one ends is
It's
how it
just
should end for this one, but they ain't got the balls to do it.
no to do it, and it's harrowing. Do you know that? Because
I'm telling you.
I always remember the one thing from that Danish movie, which was the dad in that Danish movie. He's like, "Why are you
Yeah.
doing this?"
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And then
Yes.
he's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
"What? Because you let me do it."
Yes. Yeah.
It's just like, and it's so kind
He
of
said
like,
the same thing in the American one, actually. Same thing.
it's just so kind of
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
because you didn't stop me, or you never,
Yeah.
and it is,
It's
and
like with
it
that
was,
film. What's it called again? Oh, but they the home invasion one, and they say, "Why are you doing this?" Because you were in. That's
because you
it.
were in.
It's like there's nothing you could have done. It's just.
I know.
But yeah, this
You
one
know
here, I'm
what?
telling you, the original one, the
Yeah.
ending, teacher.
It's
Oh
it's
my
mad. It's
gosh.
crazy, isn't it? I remember, and you know how I got to hear about it? I remember I think I saw the trailer like back in
Mm,
2022 or whatever it was, or whenever it was that it came out, and I was like, this film looks bad. It's like it's your worst nightmare. You go on holiday
mm,
and you meet a couple
mm,
and like they're great, they're lovely, and they invite you back to their place, and then it just turns into your biggest nightmare. Like, when you
mm.
go on holiday, Deval, has that happened where you've met people and then like, you kind of see
No,
like a different side to them or whatever? Has it
no,
ever
I've never,
happened? No,
no, no,
yeah,
never,
it's
never, 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 never. But
because it's
this
a lot
next
though.
level.
If you've met someone on a holiday and they
Yeah.
invite you to their place, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, especially yeah, exactly. Which it's never happened. I've never done it, so I can't say. But I know
Mm,
sometimes it happens to people, especially when they got kids. And maybe their kids like each other and they want like that sort of thing as well. But
yeah.
it's from having seen the American one first, and I thought that was good. Don't get me wrong, the American one is
Mm.
good. It's a good. James McAvoy is a gangster. When he's a
He's mad.
baddie, he's wicked, wicked as a baddie.
Like in
Better as a
Glass, like,
baddie than good. Exactly, wicked. Uh, and you know, in Glass, Joaquin Phoenix was set to play that. You know that.
oh my
And then
gosh.
he pulled out. He pulled out,
I
and then
wonder
he
why.
stepped in. Because M
So,
Night Shyamalan had a relationship with Joaquin Phoenix
because they
from
did The Village
yeah, and Signs as well.
and Signs.
But he pulled out. But I'm so glad James McAvoy is wicked in this.
Yeah.
But
When you
watching the
see the trailer,
American,
yeah,
mm,
yeah. So what should I? So then, Devalda, my question for me personally, then, should I watch the American version then?
having seen the original Danish version, the American version will be entertaining for you. But no, the Danish one ends better for me.
Okay, yeah.
For me, it ends better, and that's because I guess it's got the independent status.
Hmm,
When you got that independent status and you can end things how you like,
yeah.
compared to the
Bleak.
American one where you got to satisfy this studio, that studio, where they want a certain ending.
Yeah. Conclusion.
Man, the Danish one, because I thought it was gonna be the same as the American. I thought, okay, it's gonna be this. It's gonna end the same way.
Yeah.
Oh my! When I saw what they did, oh
It's
my
mad. It's
gosh!
crazy. It's crazy what they make them do, what the ordeal, what they put them
Oh
through,
my
and that whole
gosh!
thing. And then I
And
was just like, even up to
kids,
that
yeah.
point,
When you mess with kids,
oh
oh mate,
man,
when the
devout.
film messes with kids, you know it's a next level. I was
Exactly.
like,
And then I remember watching that movie, and
mm,
I had this reaction, which was
yeah,
like, oh, I was
yes.
screaming. I was like,
I
what are
thought
you
certain things. I thought, no,
doing?
this can't happen. But having seen
Yeah.
the American one, I thought, no, this can't happen. No, it can't happen. And I was like,
Yes.
what? And
But I guarantee,
one
yeah,
thing
go
that
on.
happened from the American one that I thought they were going to pay off, but they didn't,
Hmm.
is the boy in the American one, the boy with a cut
With the
tongue.
tongue, yeah, cut tongue, yeah.
In that one, he is he's either Danish or he's Dutch because his
Okay.
family they met abroad and
And they,
yeah
yeah, they
he's
took
from
him, yeah,
Europe, yeah. So I thought they were going to link it to
to the
the original
original
one,
one.
but
Oh.
yeah, but it's not really there. But yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, you were saying.
No, no, no. I'm just like, honestly, the reaction that I had, and hopefully, when people
Mm,
watch the US, the American version or the Danish version, like you get this sense of like, what the hell, man? Like, how
mm,
can you know? At what point do you say enough is enough
hmm
when you
exactly.
meet
At what
people?
point?
This whole thing about, oh, we don't want to be nice, like, we're too nice, and like, we're all this sort of
Mm,
stuff. But when it comes to family and stuff, there's
hmm
got to be a line. But
Guts to be.
unfortunately, this family doesn't.
Mm-mm.
I mean, the thing that annoyed me the most is the going back after for the teddy bear. Duval,
F that, F
would
that,
you
F
would you
that.
have ever done
Nope.
that in
No.
real life? Would you ever done that?
Nope. Gone.
No.
Gone.
That's
Gone.
it. Done.
Gone.
That was my
Mum even
only
says, "Oh, we'll
thing.
get them to post it to us." She's like, "No." I'll be like, "What?
What?
What?"
Like, be quiet. Just sit down and like we're
After everything that
going.
happened after that, it's your fault. Yeah,
Oh,
I'll be like, "It's your fault." Yeah, it's your fault. This is all your fault. Look.
Rivaldo. That movie, I think everyone like should watch it like seriously because it's just like be careful who you meet on holiday.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
man. So this yeah, because this is out on cinema, right? Speak No
Yeah,
Evil.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, Blumhouse, man. Look, they saw a good thing in the Danish movie and they thought we can
Yeah,
turn
they
this into.
snapped it up. They didn't even wait. They snapped this up.
That is so true, man. Um, but apparently, looking at this thing,
Mm.
what was the budget of it? So
15 million. $15 million. So yeah,
he loves
smallish budget.
Blumhouse.
Yeah.
They love doing the smaller movies, right?
Mm. It will make that back easily. It will probably
Yeah.
get to like 60, 70 million, I reckon.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, I
mm,
think
mm,
so.
mm, mm. So look,
Yeah.
listen, two thumbs up movies.
Yeah, definitely. 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 Go
Yeah,
watch that.
go watch those movies and let us know what you think.
Mm.
And remember, folks, we'll be back again next week. So keep it low with the Flixters. We've got some other big movies. So we've got what's coming out, Deval? I know we're going to be reviewing Agatha all
Yeah,
along.
I got for all along. Also, Substance, I think, is out soon.
Yeah,
The
Demi
one with
Moore movie.
Demi Moore out soon. There's something else that's out soon as well. I can't remember what it is, but there's something else in the cinema that I need to watch,
Mm. Yeah,
as
100%,
usual.
man. 100. I would just very, very briefly, and we're going to finish up. I watched
Mm.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay, you saw it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I saw Beetlejuice, and Deval, you mentioned on when you reviewed the film
Mm.
about the dad. He's not in the movie.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Has he
I
passed away
read up.
or?
No, he's
Oh,
alive,
oh,
but it's
okay.
actually something a bit more sinister. He
Wow,
was actually caught with in real
sexual
life. The
abuse.
actor, yeah, he was actually caught with indecent images apparently. So
Is it?
they, yeah, and then after that point,
Ah,
he never worked after that, but he's still alive, the guy.
is it?
Yeah.
Mm.
And I was just like, oh, this is but they bring him up a lot in the movie though,
Mm.
which
Yeah,
I
they
thought
have
was
to. They can't ignore him.
yeah,
They can't ignore it, so they have to. I guess that's why they didn't have him in live action. They just dealt with him via pictures
like
and
pictures animation
stop
or whatever
motion
it was, and
animation.
like
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
don't actually, it's not his voice and it's not his actual body in it.
Mm-mm. No, 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 no.
Yeah. So but anyway, yeah, I digress. But listen, look, folks, hope you enjoyed the show. Keep it up with the Flixters. Download us again next week.